This is episode 72 of the Thunder Underground podcast. My name is Trent, and as always, I'm joined by Jason.
Hey, what do you know?
I know that I wished it was 72 degrees outside.
Yeah, I know. It's about 20 degrees hotter than that.
Yeah, with the wind chill, with the heat indexed.
Wind chill, yeah. Okay, Trent.
With the heat index 20 degrees hotter than that.
Well, you know what you should do? You should take a picture of your thermometer and post it on Facebook.
I was just about to ask. I wish someone would do that so I knew that it was hot.
Because I'm not sure.
You know, I haven't seen that day on Facebook yet, surprisingly.
Yeah, I know.
So I was wondering, is it really hot? No one on my friends list has told me.
Yeah, well, hey, the day's not over yet.
True. I'll wait for yours here in a little bit.
Okay. Well, we're in episode 72. If we were virgins, we'd be the number of virgins that, terrorists would get when they sacrifice themselves to kill people.
So do you think we just offended an entire culture? I don't know if anyone's listening to our podcast that would get offended by that, though.
No, because the only people that we offended were terrorists, so fuck them.
There you go.
Yeah,
true.
Again, in a mayhem way. Fuck them!
Who's they? Fuck them.
That's right.
By the way, go watch
yeah.
the documentary Metal, A Headbanger's Journey that came out like 10 years ago. The whole thing's riddled with great stuff, but there's an interview with two of the guys from Mayhem, and it's one of the greatest interviews I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, they're pretty inebriated.
Yeah.
And they're black metal, so they don't give a fuck in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. So, big ups to Mayhem.
Well, first off, our last episode was Chris Broderick.
Yes.
From Act of Defiance, and of course, formerly of Megadeth. A quote from that got picked up by Blabbermouth, and so we got a decent amount of listens from that, and we appreciate anyone that listened to that. And if you're listening now because of that, thank you as well. It's thethunderunderground.com. You can find all our previous episodes and everything. And also, I just wanted to comment, do you ever read the comments on Blabbermouth articles?
No, I don't.
We've talked about this many times. I know you don't. That's why I asked.
And it's funny. It's not because... It was never because I don't want to read all these fucking geeks and nerds or whatever. Because, I don't know, I just would read a story and just keep moving.
Right.
So a lot of times I forget that they even have comments.
Yeah.
But, that we had that we got this picked up. I read a couple and I got maybe two in and I just scrolled through because I don't deal in that shit. So, it's not a big deal.
Well, over half the comments on Blabbermouth articles are people that just wait for the article to pop up so they can, complain about something no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Trolls, I guess, would be the word. But the other half, of those, are people that are seriously bitching about it.
Yeah.
And then there's always a few people trying to defend whatever the subject is. And the few people that are defending are usually the people that actually read the damn story.
Yeah.
Usually
exactly.
It's people, because Blabbermouth is one of those sites that's great about wording stuff in their headlines that is a little misleading to get you to click on it, which, hey, I guess that's what you got to do in this day and age. But anyway, the Broderick thing I thought was funny because a lot of people were saying, screw him, what does he know? And they're taking it completely out of context because basically he was just saying that because now he's in a band where he's in control and writing the music.
Yeah.
Whereas before he wasn't talking bad about Megadeth. He was just saying he didn't really have the option of his voice was being heard, but not enough to where he had control over writing a complete song, basically.
That's right.
So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't know and that's the thing, if that's your thing, if you want to be a hired gun, that's great. But, you want to branch out, you want to do your own thing, and there's nothing wrong with, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's like, we talked about the other night. This is Megadeth, that there's a propensity for that to happen, and it's not always going to be the same.
Right.
Nothing gold can stay. It's the Dave Mustaine show. And so, so you got to know going in that you're not going to get, and the fans need to know. It'd be nice to have the same guys, but it's, kind of like Whitesnake or something. It's always evolving and stuff. It's ever changing.
Right.
So, I mean, it doesn't bother me when somebody leaves or whatever. I mean, it's just, you kind of expect it, you know?
Yeah.
And, and I'm, I'm thankful enough to be able, I'm grateful that I am cognizant enough to realize that, and I'm not some fuckweed in my grandma's basement behind a screen.
Right.
So that's a fortunate thing.
Speaking of guys leaving bands and coming back, Dokken
Oh, yeah. Yep.
has confirmed that they're going to do a reunion with the 4 original members in Japan only, 6 shows.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those things that a lot of people were, saying like they would say with Guns N' Roses or something where it's never going to happen. And all this is always going to happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much George Lynch doesn't like Don Dokken or the vice versa. They're still going to get on stage because they know that the 2 guys together is going to draw at least twice as many people as Dokken's drawn without George Lynch on stage.
Exactly.
And I've never been massive fan of Dokken. I've always liked. I'm a bigger fan of George Lynch than I am Dokken.
Yeah.
I've always followed anything he's done. I've always liked Lynch Mob more than I like Dokken, but I've loved Dokken as well. So it'd be cool to see, but I'm not going to be. My feelings aren't going to be hurt if it truly doesn't come to America like you said it's not gonna.
Yeah.
But I still think that maybe not now, but give it a couple years, they'll be playing Sweden Rock, and then they'll be playing M3 or something.
So. Oh, yeah. I mean, they see all the zeros at the end of that check. They'll be like, maybe we could do a U.S. run or whatever. And, and now, I think, every band is reunited, it seems like. And I think that now, for bands that haven't, they just got to look at Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
If these fuckers can do it, anybody can.
Yeah.
So, Jack Russell, Great White, hello. Or anybody that you're wanting to get back together, you've got to think it's got to happen eventually.
Stephen Pearcy.
Yeah, Skid
Sebastian
Row.
Bach.
Yeah. God, if Guns did it, anybody can,
Yeah.
I figure. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, I agree. Yeah. With Dokken, that I really liked was that, when this first kind of broke, Mick Brown made the comment about it's
doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, which was funny in itself. But then when this was confirmed in the last couple of days by Don Dokken, did you read the long statement that he had made to whoever the interview he was doing? It was basically the same thing as Mick Brown. It was all just like, this is how it's presented, and I said I'd do it if it was a 1 with this many zeros behind it. And finally someone said, here's a check with a 1 with this many zeros behind it. And, and we're just like, we're happy doing our thing. I like my current lineup. And, he had to get in a dig at George by saying, George is happy playing bars with Lynch Mob. But everybody wants to make more money in a week in Japan than any of us will make in 3 or 4 years not together.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, at least he's honest.
Yeah. But is Dokken playing any better places than George Lynch, though?
Well, I'm sure they're always going to draw more than Lynch Mob just because of the name.
Yeah.
But it's probably not much more. A few hundred, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's just like Skid Row and Sebastian Bach, they can survive without each other, but they need each other.
Yeah.
To be a legitimate draw again,
That's right. Hey, it's true. We're not saying it's right, but it's true.
Hey, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you want to hear the best Dokken album ever, go listen to Wicked Sensation. It came out in 1990. It's under the name Lynch Mob. You can find it. Oh, and if you want to hear the Dokken songs sound really good, go pull up Lynch Mob's Re-Evolution with Robert Mason singing Dokken songs.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
You've thrown down the gauntlet.
Oh, anyway.
Hey.
Well, speaking of good time 80s rock, there's a band called 5 Star Hooker.
Yeah.
We talked about them a few weeks ago because you caught them at Rocklahoma.
Yeah, I sure did. They threw down.
Yeah. Go back, listen to the Rocklahoma review, hear what we said about them then, and we're bringing them back up right now because we're going to play them.
Yes.
And I figure that if you have a band called 5 Star Hooker, you have got to have a song called 5 Star Hooker because you don't want to waste that opportunity.
No, you don't.
Right.
You want to use that all you can.
Yeah. So, that being said, here's 5 Star Hooker with the song 5 Star Hooker. Star Hooker with the song 5 Star Hooker, straight out of Florida. This is a relatively new band comprised of guys that have been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And you can tell they've been doing it a long time. It's professional sounding. It's got that great party 80s feel, but it still sounds fresh. It sounds fresh. It doesn't sound, dated or anything.
Yeah.
And they do a good job of what they're trying to do. They're talking about 5-star hookers.
That's right. That's right.
And just kick ass, man. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, I mean, 5-star hooker, the band, the song, and that's actually the nickname I give my right hand. It's awesome.
Nice.
But anyways, what I dig is this is one of those songs where, I mean, that riff comes in and it's just got that, it just gives you that feeling like, oh shit, it's the weekend and we're about to go out. And you can just kind of see the car going down the highway at dusk,
Exactly.
like towards the city.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just really sets that tone. And
the video pans in on the rearview mirror and the singer starts singing. Anyway.
Well, I mean, it sets that tone and it really paints a picture and it makes you feel good and it makes you feel like, you can conquer the world. And this is just good shit. And it's fun. It's not overthought. It just kicks ass,
Yeah. And it's, once he starts singing, he talks about it being Friday night.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then he talks about the woman. It's everything that made that era of rock and roll great.
And there is nothing wrong with that. It is just, It's a great feeling. It really is.
And there's two solos in it that kick ass. And I love the vocals because, I love all kinds of vocals and I love, really clean, the high stuff from that era, whether it be glam or thrash or anything. But I also love this type of stuff where it's more gritty and rough.
Yeah.
Like Kevin DeBro or Jizzy Pearl or John Corabi.
Yeah.
Or Stephen Pearcy.
A little nastier.
Yeah. Where it's got that grit to it. It's a little dirty, but it's also well under control and you can tell it's a great voice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this isn't Firehouse here. And I love Firehouse, but right. I know exactly the wavelength you're on and I get it. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, check these guys out. You can find them on Facebook. Just type in the number 5-star hooker. And they're on Reverb Nation. They've got that and another song called Crash the Party on there, which is good. So definitely check these guys out and see what they're up to. Speaking of old school, Death Angel has a new album out.
Yeah, they do.
And this actually came out a little over a month ago, I think, or right about a month ago. And, we've been talking about so much other stuff, we haven't got to it yet.
Yeah.
But Death Angel is one of those bands that throughout the years I've always loved them, but I've never got like diehard about them.
Yeah.
But every time they come out with something new, I check it out and I get reacquainted and I'm like, why wasn't I listening to these guys last week?
Yeah,
exactly. Continue like that. And this new album's no different. It's just unbelievable. It's like one of those albums that literally you can say is one of the best metal albums of the year. And the year is not even halfway through yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this will be in some lists. I mean, I'm the first to admit, I never really, back when they came out and, now they kind of fell through the cracks with me and that's nothing on them. It's just, I was listening to so much stuff and, I think, I kind of always thought they were more death metal. I don't know. Because I remember guys in high school would talk about them in the same vein as like Obituary and Cannibal Corpse and stuff. So I just kind of thought they were that thing and it just, ignorance on my part. And, these last few years, I've kind of just delved back into it and got re-educated and there's some great stuff, they're Bay Area. They're kind of the second wave of, after Metallica and Exodus and all that stuff. They're kind of in there with like Machine Head and stuff, that wave of Bay Area stuff, I'm pretty sure. If not, someone correct me.
Well, they were out before that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's, I admit I'm kind of new to this, so it's all good. And, I know you've seen them live already. I haven't seen them live.
Yeah.
You went and saw them live and said it was pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And this album is just insane,
Yeah, I'm going to make a statement which might sound a little over the top, but I can explain myself.
Okay.
I think the Death Angel is probably the most underrated thrash band of all time.
I can see that.
And I can say that because even though people will say, well, what about Testament or Overkill? I love both those bands, and actually I like them longer than I like Death Angel.
Yeah.
but everybody knows Testament and everybody knows Overkill, whether they were ever as big as the Big Four band or not.
Yeah.
Death Angel's one of those bands that always just kind of slid under there, and even some people that might know Testament might not have known Death Angel.
Yeah, true.
And I was talking the other night, whenever I was hanging out with Jason Carroll, we were talking about Death Angel, and I said I always kind of thought it was weird that why haven't these bands done a tour? There was the Big Four thing.
Yeah.
Why haven't they done like the other four tour with headlined by Testament and Overkill and then Death Angel and Exodus?
Yeah, no kidding.
But anyway,
that'd be a good one.
Yeah. But we're lucky enough that they are opening for Slayer and Anthrax. So that's going to be phenomenal to see these guys. I mean, sure, it's going to be a short set, but
we're going to be there.
They'll go out there before Anthrax and Slayer and hold their own. I've seen them live before, so I can say that.
Yeah.
And, this, like you said, this whole album's just great from start to finish. Starts off with the Moth, and it's just like from there on.
Yeah. Dude, I love Lost. Father Lies was badass.
Yeah.
The Hatred United, United Hate, that really grabbed me.
The song, the first time I listened to it, the song It Can't Be This just like jumped out instantly.
Yeah.
And like I listened to it a second time before I even listened to the next song.
Yeah.
And another thing I always dug about the band, well, the vocals especially, was that a lot of songs he'll weave. How do I say this without it sounding dumb? Like he'll weave his vocals into like the guitar parts somehow.
Yeah.
Like where a lot of people would just, sing the verse where it goes along with the guitar. His somehow sounds like it fits in between parts. If that makes sense at all. I don't know. But just go listen. It makes
total sense.
Yeah. Just go listen to The Moth and you can probably tell what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a great record. It's called The Evil Divide.
Yeah.
And fun fact, I can always do this. Bring it back to Metallica. At their 30th anniversary shows in 2011, Death Angel opened a couple of those.
Oh, so, yeah.
There you go. Fun fact. There you go.
Those ones that were at the Fillmore with all the special guests.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Nice. Well, yeah. Check it out. It's Death Angel, so you can find it anywhere you look.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, just like DEAT, and then you should just like finish it out. Death Angel.
Well, no, you might get Chuck Schuldner's death.
Well, true. But also, just a little thing I want to throw at you. If we're talking about thrash and like old school, just raw sounding thrash, Nervosa also has a new album out. I just want to I know you probably haven't heard it. I just want to put a little blurb in there. It's badass. These girls are from Brazil, and it's just unrelenting. It just starts at like 200 miles an hour and goes the whole 10 songs, 11 songs. I mean, if you like that kind of stuff like Municipal Waste and Toxic Holocaust, I mean, this stuff is amazing. So Nervosa, check them out.
Hey, I love Brazilian women and I love thrash. Yeah. So this is like amazing combination, right?
Yeah, the new album's called Agony, and it's just badass. So yeah, there you go.
Well, another thing to point out off of that real quick is that I think, unless I just kind of missed it over the late 90s and early 2000s, it seems like thrash has kind of made a comeback.
Yeah.
Not just, excluding the obvious four bands.
Yeah, exactly.
Or three bands. You don't really say Metallica's thrash now, but, excluding the obvious ones.
Yeah.
And even Testament, because they'll always have their name out there. You've got these bands, but then you got Death Angel, obviously, like we just talked about, still doing it. And then you've got, like you said, Nervosa and Municipal Waste and Toxic Holocaust and Insight now and Battlecross. And,
yeah.
I'm sure there's Lynch King, I think is one of them. There's all these bands out there that, have made a name for themselves from all over not just America, from all over the country. Yeah. I mean, all over the world, sorry. And it's kind of cool that even though it's not like in the forefront in the mainstream, it's like a big genre again, I think. So.
And that's what we need to remember. This isn't just four bands. There's, the usual four.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole world out there and we can't forget it.
Oh yeah. Well, and speaking of that world, there's a band out of Arkansas.
That's right.
That has some thrash elements to them. And they're called Agentz of Khaos. and we're going to play them for you right now.
Hell yes.
Let's just get right into this. This is called The Crusaders.
A crusader is a fighter. A crusader is entirely different. A crusader is a champion. A crusader is a reformer. A crusader is a fighter who campaigns vigorously for political, social, and religious change. Resourceful and resilient, they are entirely different. Chaos! Yes, the score of which rayon the day is written. Each new a measure. Yes, the chapter ending. Only veil discipline. Well, in the soul. Hear these words of the Crusaders. I think of every emotion. Hatred flows from your mouth like the psychotic rage. And then people muster. A rage which is stronger. The Crusaders. They're born with the psychotic rage. As they speak, I hear the words of mine. It condemns. Thou far from standing. Yes, never ending. Deep inside lives the beast of the Crusaders. I think of every emotion. Hatred flow from your mouth like the psychotic rage. And then people muster. A rage which is stronger. The Crusaders. They're born with the psychotic rage.
That was the Crusaders from Agents of Khaos out of Harrison, Arkansas. These guys recently played Rocklahoma.
Yes, they did.
On the GA Rock stage. And they are now part of the DMG Productions family.
Okay.
Which is managed by Chris Taylor.
Yeah.
Of course, we've talked about Crane Technique before. And they're part of that. So wanted to throw that in. But anyway, these guys, have that cool kind of thrash guitar. Great solo.
Yeah, that was an insane solo.
Yeah. The vocals kind of set this apart because it's not your typical, you know, kind of thrash sound. You know, with thrash vocals, you get what you get from like, you know, it's either real high pitched or real kind of gruff. You know, you get like the, you know, the Bobby from Overkill kind of gruffness, which is more along.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, which is more along the wavelength that this goes, but this goes to another level where it's almost into the black metalish range.
Yeah, this guy could be in a black metal band. I mean, and that's not a bad thing. It's just what, you know, kind of what his voice brings.
Yeah. And, you know, melding that with a different sound's always cool. You know, we've talked about that many times whenever you can marry sounds like that and it, you know, it comes across cool. This is one of those bands I imagine, you know, we didn't get the chance to see them live at Rocklahoma, so I imagine when you see them live that it's probably even more intense than this recording comes off. And it's just one of those bands I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to see sometime soon.
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah. And well, speaking of them and DMG Productions, there's the show in Fort Smith, Arkansas on July 29th that Agentz of Khaos is playing. And they're going to be joined by Reliance Code.
Nice.
Who we've talked about a couple times and played before. And they've got a killer heavy rock sound. And then there's also a band called Desperate Measures.
Okay.
And then the next night, another DMG Productions show at the same place, Shooters in Fort Smith, is going to be our good buddies in Severmind.
Oh, yes. Gotta love those guys.
And, of course, our good friends in The Devil You Adore.
Of course.
And they're joined by Vague Vendetta out of Arkansas and Switchbach out of Arkansas.
That's going to be a killer lineup, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great show.
I mean, that show the night before, 2 killer nights of badass heavy music brought to you by DMG Productions. And guess what? Both nights are free.
Well, then, hell, I mean, you have no excuse.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, if you're anywhere in the area, I mean, we're, an hour and 40 minutes or so from Fort Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing whenever you got a great lineup of bands like this. So.
And it's free.
Yeah. Even if not, $5-10 for something like this is a steal.
That would be worth it. Yeah, you got to support.
Yeah. So get out there. Anytime you get a chance to see any band, not just these bands I mentioned, get out there and check them out.
Yeah.
But.
Unless it's like Crazy Town, then just don't go.
Right.
Okay.
Funny you bring that up. Remember, they're coming to Oklahoma City in October, and last I checked, he already had a ticket.
Me?
Yeah, for Shifty Shell Shock.
No, I didn't have a ticket. That's you. I think they're probably opening for Bo Nasty or something.
Well,
fucker.
If that was true, I would be there. I'm not going to lie. If Bo Nasty was in this state, or in the tri-state area, I would be there.
Along with Denaro.
Well, we got off on a tangent.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to come back to that. But
oh, shit.
Let me point this out. Agentz of Khaos. That's with a Z instead of an S and a K instead of a C. So look them up. They're on Facebook. They're on Reverb Nation.
KH.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said instead of a C, because Khaos is CH.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So Agentz.
Long day.
Z at the end and Khaos K at the beginning. Check them out. Okay, I'm coming back. You mentioned Denaro.
Oh, shit.
And the other night we were hanging out on the porch, and you said, hey, we got to play some Denaro.
That's right, I did.
And we did it. And all the memories came rushing back.
Didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, so how was that? Now you're looking back on it. How do you feel having heard that after 25 years?
It felt great.
Or 23 years.
I'll tell you what, funny enough, is, okay, if you didn't, just in case you didn't know, which you probably don't, Denaro is this band that opened up for Extreme and Enough's Enough at Mohawk Park in like goddamn 1993 or something.
Right.
And they were kind of that tail end of the glam thing. And, they had a song called It's Alright that was like super catchy and all this kind of stuff.
And oddly sounded like
yeah,
Simple Minds instead of...
Yeah, exactly. Simple Minds instead of a fucking hair band.
Yeah.
And, I really liked it, and I went to Starship and got the CD, and I'm probably like the only person in this even fucking region that bought the CD. And I don't know what happened to it, but I just thought about it the other night, and we played it, and I fucking listened to that goddamn song today at work. Just so you know. So, I mean, thank God for YouTube. And it was amazing.
So you're glad that it's back in your life?
Very glad, yeah. Yeah, I feel worth something again.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually went out there to Starship when because they were out there signing and meeting people before that show.
Uh-huh.
And I remember, hey, we were 16, so we thought it was awesome that even though it was a, whatever you call it, a third level glam band, you know.
Well, I didn't say third level. There's no, I just said they
Third
were out
wave.
at the tail end of that.
How about that third wave?
A little bit levels on stuff because they were good.
No, third wave. How about that?
Okay, third wave.
Yeah.
You're trying to be all mean and shit.
No,
okay,
I'm not.
I'm trying to be, all right.
I'm trying to say we went out there, we're 16, and we thought, this band's on the radio, so it's amazing that we're meeting them,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
But anyway, so I'm glad that, you know, Denaro was back in your life.
Yeah.
Now, if you just get Bo Nasty in your life,
No, that'll
It'll
never
be good.
happen. Keep dreaming, fucker.
paradise in the sand, baby.
No love potion number 9 for me.
Hey, you remembered.
Because you shoved it down my throat for the last 25 fucking years.
Dirty but well dressed.
Oh, God.
You
Next subject.
You can thank Lonnie Walters for my love of Bo Nasty.
Next topic.
Okay. Well, speaking of this kind of stuff that we've, you know, this era of music, you know, we've compared Mycah to this era a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
They also have the pop punk and the 70s glam sound to them. We had Devin Mycah on the show a few weeks ago. It's an excellent one. If you missed it, please go back and check it out. She's an open book, and as she claims, she spills her guts and says lots of dramatic things, which is really not too dramatic. It's just good stuff.
Yeah. And she's awesome.
Yeah, she's totally awesome. Great girl. I'm bringing this back up because they just announced in the last few days that they're going to be on the Monsters of Rock West cruise.
Nice.
And I just want to throw that out there because that's a pretty big deal, I think.
That's a great opportunity for them. When is that?
That's actually, I think that's, I didn't write it down. It's either the one in October or the one next February. I think it's the one in October because I think the one that always happens in the February or March is the one on the East Coast, the big one.
I see.
And then they do a West Coast one now, which goes down California and Mexico.
Yeah. So we'll see them in September before they go on this.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the other thing. She's hitting up all these festivals with this era of bands and now getting on the cruises. And she's got a real crossover sound.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that she could do that and then go off and play with, you know, a punk band or a pop band even or anything. So I think they've really got a great future ahead of them because of that diversity. So
yeah, they do. Yeah,
props to them. We're glad that they're getting these chances, you know?
Yeah, the doors just keep opening.
Yeah. Well, next major subject here, I think, is Bill Ward.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a major subject, I guess. It's just making the news recently. It's because his new band, Day of Errors, has recently played their first couple shows.
Yeah.
They played one this past weekend. By the time you hear this, I think it's tonight if you're hearing this the day this comes out. And they don't have any, you know, Blabbermouth posted a story that they had videos of, but then it was a video that you couldn't view. It was
Taken
weird.
down, yeah.
So anyway, we don't really know what they sound like or how it came off, but you know that it's going to be heavy.
Yeah.
Because Bill Ward, when he wasn't with Sabbath, is always heavy. And it's a 3-piece, and so I'm kind of interested to hear what it sounds like. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
It's good to see Bill Ward playing and, you know, continuing on. I'm pretty anxious to hear what these guys sound like. And I you know, I'm sure that, God, it could be by the time we get done with this, they'll probably have something worked out and you can hear something on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
Or just, you know, because they'll want to get it out. So I'm glad that he's not, you know, waiting around or whatever. He's just getting out there and doing it. And, you know, those pictures they put up, he looks, you know, like he's in better shape. So, I mean, I'm sure he can, you know, he can hit hard like he always did. And, you know, it just, you know, I like I said, it's good that he's moving on. And, you know, I mean, this is obviously going to get us into talking about Sabbath and should he or shouldn't he be there? And, you know, are you going to go see this or that or whatever? And I saw him with Bill Ward. I saw all 4 of them.
Yeah.
I think a couple times. So I don't need to go see him again. You know, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good, I think. And, I think that, you know, I think they should have him back for the last go around. Sorry. They should.
Oh, I 100% agree with that. Like, and I've made that statement to people several times. You know, I'll be the first to admit that I said, I don't care if Black Sabbath comes to Tulsa, I'm not going.
Yeah.
And here I am. I now have tickets.
Well,
because I'm a hypocrite with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that because, you know, you don't...
I didn't really think that tour was going to come here, so I could say that.
Exactly. Once it gets put in front of your face, because I did the same thing. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
you know, that would be kind of cool. But I just was like, you know, there's a lot of stuff coming and, you know, I've got to save my money for this or that or whatever. And, you know, that's one I'm going to sit out.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, but I will say I will enjoy the vibe that will bring to town.
Right.
To downtown. It'll be like Iron Maiden all over again. Everybody will be at this bar, that bar, and...
Yeah, be more like an event than just a normal show.
I'll probably, you know, plop my fat ass at Downtown Lounge and soak it in and wait for y'all to get done or whatever, you know, because it's just a fun vibe, you know, so.
Plus it's the third to last U.S. show.
Exactly. So, I mean, you know, and it's cool and, you know, in a way I get it, but in a way it just, I wish Bill Ward was there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it just pisses me off because for them to say that they didn't think he could do full shows and he got Ozzy up there. Come on.
I know, man.
No one wants me to start ripping on Ozzy. I love Ozzy as much as anyone.
Well, yeah, me too.
But this is Ozzy of 2016 is not Ozzy of 1996 either.
Yeah.
You know, back in the 90s or the first go around with Reunion, he sounded great. And he doesn't sound horrible now. He just doesn't sound great.
Yeah.
And Bill Ward, you know, is going to sound great. I don't care what you say. You know, maybe physically, you know, I don't know. That is pretty demanding to go out on tour. It's the same concept with Steven Adler. Maybe they're not bringing him in because you just don't trust that the guy's going to be able to make it, you know.
Yeah.
And it could be the same thing. Maybe it's just a legality thing and it sucks. And I'm sure Tony and Geezer and probably even Ozzy want him up there, but the powers that be, you know, are just like, this is a liability we don't want to fuck with.
Yeah.
We know that Tommy's been doing this for years with Ozzy. We know he can do it. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Nothing against Tommy Clufetos and, you know, I've seen that motherfucker. He can play drums like all day long, like anybody's business. But it sucks. And it's like, you know, God, in 96, Ozzy had bad shows.
Yeah.
He had good ones, but he had bad ones. And it's just, you know, it's just, and it almost seems like, you know, like if they did their very last show or they did like a hometown show in Birmingham, England.
That's the final show.
Is it?
Yeah.
See, that's what I thought. That tells you how much I'm paying attention to that.
Right.
But it's like, oh, let's bring Bill Ward back for, you know, if I was Bill Ward, I'd kind of be like, yeah, fuck you.
Right.
You know, you should have had me here the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's just, you could go on and on about this kind of deal. You really could.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Well, I will say that I'm looking forward to what comes after all this because there's been the rumor that Tony Iommi was going to do something with Tony Martin again after this.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, Tony Martin was one of the few singers between, you know, the stints of Ozzy being in the band.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that's a great album, regardless of what anyone else thinks it is.
Yeah.
And pretty much anything Iommi's ever done, all those Sabbath albums are great. You know, with obviously with Dio and then with Glenn Hughes and Tony Martin and Ray Gillen. You know, so just check him out if you haven't. I'm just hoping he does it, and more than that, I'm hoping he does something with Glenn Hughes.
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring up. Was it Fused?
Yeah.
How fucking great was that record?
Yeah, he did two things with him after the one in 86, then the one in 96 was like the DEP sessions.
Yes.
And then in 2006, I think, was the Fuse thing.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, I saw someone point out that this year could be the year, but obviously they're doing the Black Sabbath reunion stuff, so that's not happening. But
well, and we, you know, if we're talking about that, we cannot forget to mention the album he did with like a different singer on every song.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Like fucking Henry Rollins and Dave Grohl and Peter Steele and Philip Anselmo and
Glenn Hughes.
I mean, that record is just fucking forget about it. That record, I wore that CD out, dude.
Oh yeah,
wore it out. That was so good.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have not heard Iommi, it's just called Iommi. It's like a solo album, but he just uses his last name. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, the song with Henry Rollins, Laughing Man in the Devil Mask.
Yeah.
Holy fuck balls, man. You have to, your ears will be so happy. You have to look that song up, if anything.
Yeah.
That's just a great record.
Yeah.
Ian Astbury was on it.
That's right.
Just such a good record, man.
I'd love if he just did something like that. I don't care what it is. I'm going to see Sabbath in November because Tony Iommi's on stage.
Yeah.
And I hope that, his health issues are completely under control, and from here on out, he just keeps doing stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he will.
Yep. Well, I mean, I don't know. I've read that, the touring's hard on him. I don't know if he'll tour as much as he used to.
That's true.
But
he could just on a lot lesser scale, because Sabbath's obviously
true.
a huge production, huge scale, long ass tours,
And I would want to stay home with that wife of his. I want to stay home all day long.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I wouldn't even. I'd be like, I can't go on tour.
Yeah, I have to stay home with her.
Yeah. Well, and also maybe we'll get a new GZR album.
Hey, there you go. You never know.
Right. Well, do we got anything else we want to get into before we wrap this thing up?
I think we've violated everyone's ears enough.
Yeah.
God bless you if you fucking haven't turned it off yet.
Right. Yeah, if you haven't turned it off yet, you obviously weren't completely repulsed. So we've got 71 other episodes you should check out. SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground. We've got several others like this where we just ramble about different topics, play a couple songs. Then, of course, we've got tons of interviews, like we mentioned. Devin, Mycah, Chris Broderick. We've had on, we mentioned thrash. We had on Sid Falk from Overkill.
Yeah.
And if you're into thrash, you don't want to miss that. He sat down. We talked to him for 3.5 hours, and it's a 2-part episode.
2-parter.
And it's got all kinds of great stuff in it, from his new stuff to Overkill to the stuff with Paul Diano. Covers it all.
Yeah, we got Kirk Winstein from Crowbar and Down.
Yeah.
We've had Joey Allen from Warrant.
Reed Mullen from COC.
Yeah, Reed Mullen from COC. Just the list goes on.
John Oliveris from Sons of Texas.
That's right.
They're coming back here to Tulsa in a few weeks, so you might hear him on again here again. You never know.
You never know. You never know what we've got up our sleeve.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for future stuff coming. We've got, like I mentioned a couple of times, we've got one with Sam McCaslin coming up soon. We've got one with Scott Bond from Death Grip coming up soon, which is going to be a really good one. And then Mike DiPetrola from Driver is also on that one.
Yes.
We've got stuff coming down the line from Fist of Rage and Crane Technique, here in the next month or so. So
That's right.
Be on the lookout for that stuff as well. TheThunderUnderground.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, and of course, SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground.
And we have shirts and koozies for sale.
Yes.
Merchandising.
Yes.
As Mel Brooks would say in Spaceballs.
TheThunderUnderground@gmail.com. Send us a message. You can do it for anything you want. You could say, hey, you suck. You could say, hey, I love your show. You could say, hey, here's my band. Check it out. You could say, hey, I would love to buy one of those T-shirts. Here's $15.
Yeah.
So it's that easy.
Yeah, you could say, hey, that big bearded guy, can I have his phone number? He's cute.
Yeah. I'm sure that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Actually, I bet the singer from Nervosa heard your review, and now she's going to send an email and said, hey, that big bearded guy, I want his phone number.
Exactly. That's exactly why I said that.
I need him to be my tour manager / tour bus slave.
That's right. I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb. I know what I'm doing.
Right. So Nervosa, if you need a T-shirt, email us.
That's right.
We'll send you one for free.
Yep. 3. We'll send 3 of them out there for all 3 of you guys.
Right. All right. Until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.